Y'all will not believe this. We are literally witnessing a surreal dystopian scene play out from inside the state capitol of Texas. Representative Nicole Collier, a Democrat from Fort Worth, literally spent the night sleeping on the floor of the House. Not because she wanted to, but because she refused to sign what Republicans are calling a permission slip. Let me explain this. After a 2-week walkout to block a Republican redistricting plan backed by Trump, Democrats returned to Austin, but the Speaker Dustin Burrows and GOP leadership weren't about to let them stroll on back in without punishment. So they devised a bizarre rule. Any Democrat who returned had to sign a form agreeing to be escorted everywhere by state troopers. If you didn't sign, you weren't allowed to leave the chamber. Think about that. Elected lawmakers who were chosen by their constituents being forced to either submit to 24/7 surveillance by police or remain locked inside the House chamber like political prisoners. This is the level of authoritarianism that Republican Texas have normalized. Now, most Democrats went along with it. They signed the damn slip. They agreed to live under a system that essentially put them on house arrest in their own capital. But Nicole Collier said no. She refused. She called it unconstitutional, degrading, and an affront to her dignity. And because of that, she stayed locked in the chamber overnight. She streamed live from her desk, showing the world exactly what she was enduring. She turned her confinement into an act of resistance. To her credit, State Representative Jean Wu and another Democrat did come sit with her for a while, bringing supplies and showing support. But when the night dragged on, Collier was largely left on her own, turning her protest into a solitary stand against Republican overreach. And here's where we need to have a very, very hard conversation. Why was she the only one there? Why was she standing alone? Where was the solidarity? Yes, later on, a handful of Democrats said that they would rip up their slips in protest, but that was after the cameras started rolling and Collier had already taken her stand. In the moment that counted, when the pressure was highest, when the GOP's authoritarian stunt was fresh, her colleagues chose compliance over courage. This is bigger than a procedural fight over redistricting. It's about whether Democrats in Texas, and frankly across the entire country, are willing to resist creeping authoritarianism when it's uncomfortable, not just when it's easy. Collier showed what civil disobedience looks like inside the belly of the beast, but instead of joining her, too many of her fellow Democrats played along. They signed the slip and gave Republicans exactly what they wanted: control through intimidation. If Democrats seriously want voters to believe they'll stand up to the far right, then moments like this absolutely matter. Nicole Collier should not be a lone soldier locked in the chamber. Her colleagues should have been right there with her the entire time, shoulder to shoulder, saying, "We will not sign away our rights. We will not be monitored like criminals. We will not bow to authoritarian games." Because here's the truth. History does not remember the people who complied with injustice. It remembers the ones who resisted.